Today we're going to be replacing the lower arm on the 2008 Mitsubishi Lancer. I'm trying to think, is it an EX, a DX? I don't think it, the GTS, Mitsubishi Lancer GTS 2008. And the issue was having this lower joint is loose. And I realized it was broken because when I drive, it would rattle really bad. You know, so first things first, make sure you take off the wheel. So once you've done that, so this is the arm, and there's 3 bolts that you have to remove. There's the 17 that's right here, and like 17. You see it? Yeah. And then on the other side of this one, there's a nut. It's also a 17 millimeter. So if you follow this, it goes down, and then there's another one. It's right here. Oh, you can't see it. Let me see that. Right there. That's a 19. And there's one more on the other end. That's a nut. It's a 19. And the bottom nut, it's also a 19. So let me go ahead and remove those, and then we'll take it from there. So once you're on the 17 millimeter bolt right here, keep in mind that this has a socket. I mean a nut on the other end. So it's on there. It's on there for days. It's not gonna come off. So what I like to do is I'll get my hammer, my mallet, and I like to hit it with the wooden end right here. I don't like to hit it with it. I miss too much, and you see what happens when you miss too much. So I like to hit it with this right here. Once you break it loose and you actually are able to move it, go ahead and put a wrench on the other side, or use a socket on this side. So I got the nut out, and the bolt's not moving. It's very important that you take out the whole bolt, and I'll tell you why in a second. Let me remove it first, and actually let's use the old example. Why? Because the bolt, you see that groove? You see that groove on the old joint right there, that little groove? The bolt runs through that groove, and is what holds this in place. So you could bang this all day, and it's not going to move because that bolt is still there. So it's very important that you remove the bolt to clear the groove, and this will drop off. Alright? So there's a 19 millimeter socket on the 19 millimeter nut. See the 19 right there? Pretty cool, huh? So anyway, so that's the one that's forward of the lower joint that we just removed. There's Jeanette laying down. We'll move on to the other 19. And this nut is not rigid to the foundation, to the structure. So you're gonna need to put a wrench on that too. So it actually comes out from here, put a wrench on there, and then we'll go from there. Once the bolt's removed, 19 millimeter, make sure you put the 19 millimeter wrench up here and hold this in place. Common sense. So this is removed. This one's removed on this side. I don't know if you can see my finger. Alright, so this is practically loose. Oh, it just got wedged. But now, if you remember earlier, I was telling you about the 17 millimeter over here. This one, it has to come off. You have to take this bolt, even though it's just chilling right there. You have to take it off because it's engraved into the groove of the actual lower arm assembly. So what I'm using is a punch. I'm gonna use this punch. You can see the punch, and then I'm gonna punch it out. Very simple. I'm just gonna put it right here. Oh yeah, by the way, make sure you don't do this at 9 in the morning, because your neighbors will come out and fucking complain, and then you go from there. But don't hit the bolt. Don't hit the bolt, and don't hit the threads. If you don't have a punch and you need to hit the bolt, make sure you put the nut on first. Put the nut, and then when the top of with the end of the bolt is flush with the top of the nut. I'll say that again. When the end of the bolt is flushed with the top of the nut, go ahead and hit it. You don't want to hit the bolt because you're gonna smash the threads, and that's gonna be a bad day at the office. But since I'm using the punch, just put it at the end of the thread right there, and just whack it out very slowly. Should be coming out. pull out the stud. Oh man, this is pretty bad. Anyways, so that once is off, we should be able to pivot the hub. Pivoting the hub will cause the lower arm to move, just like that. You see it separated from there already. You see it separated because I moved it, or separated right there. You can move it back. It's no big deal. That's not gonna. That's the last part. So it's 1, 2. You'll be fine. 2, and then 3. That comes out at the end because this has no clearance at the bottom. So this is gonna be a pull method. So once that's off, you're gonna have to give it a couple good whacks on this side. 2 good whacks. Unless you got one of these forks. Hold it right there. Unless you got one of these forks. Unless you have one of these forks that goes in between the joint, and then you give it a couple whacks on the ass end. So let's go ahead and do that and see what happens. So what I did was I put the jack on the rotor itself. Try not to nick it. You know, you want the rotor to be smooth. So I'll raise the rotor. And there's a reason behind that, because once you start using your fork, right? Once you start using your, highly recommend this. It's really cheap actually. You put it in between the lower joint and right there. You put it right there in between the lower joint and the actual hub, and then you hit it right here. So you're driving it in and then it gets stuck. So what I like to do is I hit it on top, and it separates both mating surfaces. So I'll do it on this part, then I'll also do it on the opposing side, and then it actually works. So a lot of times you have to raise the hub again, just like I was doing. But it's about to slide off. It's probably gonna sound dangerous. Exactly, it's gonna slide off. I knew it was. So, but mine's already separated. But that's what you could do. So sure, right here, it's already separated. The hub came off. There's that groove that I was telling you guys about, where the bolt goes in. Yeah. So the first bolt that you want to put in is that one, that 19 right there. Reason being is because this end of the arm, a lot of times we like to bring it from the bottom up, but it doesn't work that way. You have to do it from the side. You have to do it from the side forward. So place it on the side forward and push it towards the hole. Line up your rod, and remember, this is the longest bolt. Don't mess it up. This is your longest bolt. The second bolt you're gonna put in, which is also a 19, indeed, is over here. And this is going to be your nightmare, because lining this up is going to be what I call a bitch. But the way you do it is, if you look over here, this right here, the lower, you're able to pivot this. So using this pivotness, and what I like to do, I like to stick a punch over here. Stick a punch, line it up. I'll show you real quick. Where's the punch? I think I'm sitting on it. Well, there it is. So I got my punch, good punch. I stick it in here. Find the hole. I usually never have trouble with finding the hole, but when it comes to this, I do. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, come here. Find the hole. Line it up. Line it up. Where's it at? Where's the hole? I line it up, and once I line it up, I'll put my bolt in from the bottom. And once the bolt is in from the bottom, I'll line it in from the top, and then the bolt goes in. You know what I'm saying? And we'll go from there.